Hello, this is Brett from SurvivalComms. Let's say that you have several receivers, but you only want to connect them to one antenna. How do you make that happen? Well, we need a multicoupler, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, back in the 80s and 90s, a common strategy was to use a variety of tees and jumpers, as seen here on the bench, and that was a typical arrangement to accommodate 4 receivers. And for those interested in monitoring strong FM signals with a scanner in a suburban environment, this is pretty much a de facto standard. Now, it does work, but we're going to do a deeper dive in this content. We'll discuss the basic components and configurations of receiver multicouplers, the how and the why, and I will show you how to roll your own without breaking the bank. So this here is our most basic level of receiver multicoupling. The antenna connects here and receiver 4 connects here. Now let's talk about a couple reasons why this isn't really a good idea. Reason 1 is that the signal strength of each receiver is inconsistent due to signal loss, due to cable components and impedance mismatches. Now in a strong FM signal environment with a bank of scanners, will you notice it? Probably not, but let me demonstrate. This is a UHF signal fed from my signal generator into my spectrum analyzer. Our reference signal is just under minus 72 decibel milliwatts. Now, using the same overall cabling arrangement, we are feeding our UHF signal into the top of our daisy chain of 3 receivers with tees and jumpers in series, and our spectrum analyzer is attached to our 4th receiver position. We can see our signal is reduced by about 11 dB across our cable and T multicoupler. A second reason is that there is no isolation between receivers, and receivers do emit RF, especially at lower frequencies. Take a look at these measurements. Now, this is with a daisy chain of united scanners, and this measurement is connecting our receivers with our multicoupler. And it's a pretty cool demo of something most never think of. Let's talk about some basic configurations of a receiver multicoupler. The device all 3 configurations share in common is a power divider, which is the core component. The heart of our multicoupler, again, is the power divider. A power divider in this application divides power evenly, maintaining its impedance over its specified frequency range. Additionally, the power divider provides port-to-port isolation, which assists in reducing inter-receiver interference from local oscillator leakage, desense, and intermod. You can use bandpass filters and pad more effectively if desired, and further condition our signals if we need to do so. A couple considerations to using a power divider is they do induce signal loss by division of the signal itself. Every time you split a signal evenly, you have 3 dB of loss. So a 2-port device will show a minimum of 3 dB of insertion loss, a 4-port 6 dB of loss, and so on and so forth. Another consideration is that not all dividers are created equally. In terms of specification, the largest being they operate within a specified frequency range. We have several devices here on the bench, and the first 2 are designed to operate from HF through UHF. This one is 700 megahertz to 2 gigahertz, and our 4-point example here is for 2 to 5 gigahertz. The more you steer from their designed frequency, the more their characteristics change. The initial sorting and characterization of unknown devices like this from myself is with the use of my CellMaster, which will do this standalone. Without that, I can use a return loss bridge in my spectrum analyzer with a tracking generator. You terminate the ports with 50 ohm loads, connect it to your instrument, and sweep the device. The points where the return loss falls below 12 dB is generally the beginning and end of its working range. Now you can also do this with a nano VNA as a throwdown with an S11 SWR measurement if that's what you have to work with. The divider we are going to use in our build today is the EMR 2304, which is a pretty vanilla 4-port power divider used in many commercial multicoupler panels. I picked this up at Hamcation for $25 new in a box. It is specified to work from 30 to 960 megahertz, which will pair well with our unit and scanner bank. When we look inside our device, we can see how the power division takes place and how port-to-port isolation and impedance matching takes place with the inclusion of these little transformers. Here is our insertion loss measurement. Here is our port-to-port isolation measurement. And finally, here is our return loss measurement. All is bueno with our Surplus 2304 for our project. This device, as it sits now, is an example of a passive multicoupler. Let's move on. So how do we overcome the loss in our multicoupler system? Well, we make our passive multicoupler into an active multicoupler by adding a preamplifier between the antenna and our power divider. So again, we are adding a preamp to our passive multicoupler to make it an active multicoupler. The primary purpose of this preamp is to overcome the loss through the power divider and other signal conditioning equipment. Any surplus gain may or may not be beneficial to system performance. If this surplus gain is problematic in a receiver, we can pad the surplus as needed with an attenuator placed between the power divider and the receiver and calibrate it on a receiver by receiver basis. We place our preamp between the antenna feed line and the power divider and provide a source of power for it. In our build here, we have added a Watkins-Johnson 6201-062 preamplifier to our power divider, attaching it to the power divider with 4 256 machine screws. This amplifier is specified to work between the ranges of 10 MHz to 1 GHz and is powered by a 12-volt DC power supply. Let's do a live over-the-air test. We're on a frequency of 162.4 meg, the weather channel. And we're going to use this as a test. Right now we've just got our SDR connected directly to our antenna. And I'll let you listen to the audio here. And look at the display on the left. You can hear the audio. It's almost indecipherable. Let's go ahead and hook up our multicoupler in line. Now we've connected our multicoupler and preamplifier up to our system. And you can see the corresponding increase in signal strength, not only on the waterfall, but you can also see it on the marginally useful dB meter in this particular application. And you can hear that our audio has become more decipherable now. So we did see an increase in performance through our multicoupler system due to the surplus gain of the preamplifier, and in this case it worked in our favor. It's important to understand that that's not that amplifier's jam. That amplifier is there to basically reduce the amount of signal degradation that's going to take place through the signal division process. And if we were truly interested in enhancing this received signal, we would have an amplifier as close to the antenna as possible, so that way we're taking and amplifying a non-degraded signal through the feed line and things of that nature. Now let us discuss this configuration, which as it sits on the whiteboard is a monoband active multicoupler. The additional item shown is a preselector. The preselector is a cavity that is acting as a receiver bandpass filter. This preselector has a 5 MHz bandpass, and in this role you would tune it to pass the receiver frequency while it is connected to a separate receive antenna in a duplex system such as a repeater. This preselector has a separate monoband GASFET preamp, and when it connected to a power divider in this configuration, you bypass the preamp on the power divider, and this will allow attachment of 3 other receivers that operate in the passband of the preselector. Let's discuss some other setup options. You can reconfigure this device if needed for use with a single transmit and receive antenna, and in this case you would place your preselector and amp between the receive connection of the duplexer and the receiver input and eliminate the multicoupler. Now this particular pre-selector setup that I have here allows me to enclose the pre-selector and preamp in an enclosure, throw in a couple of bias tees in the receive feed line to power the preamp, and mount said enclosure to the base of the receive antenna on the support structure to function as a tower top amplifier. This is an excellent way to improve performance of your system over a long feed line run, as you are amplifying a minimally degraded pre-selected signal. If you desire to divide the power for multiple receivers within the passband, you can use the amp on the power divider to maximize available signal at the receiver end. If maximizing multiband receive capability is your objective, replace the bandpass cavity pre-selector with a low noise preamp at the tower top and have your active multicoupler at the receiver end. Place the pre-selector cavity between your multicoupler and the receiver dedicated to the passband and add other bandpass filters in a similar fashion needed, dedicating the receivers to the range of their attached bandpass filters. Now I realize this doesn't cover all permutations of receiver multicoupling. However, for an 11-minute YouTube video, we covered quite a bit. We'll go into more detail in future content. I hope this helps. This is Brett from SurvivalComms. Until next time.